The Detroit Pistons right now is probably the best story in basketball. This is a team that won 14 games last year. They had the longest losing streak in NBA history. Now they're above 500, 21-19. The first time they're above 500 since they started the year, like 2-1 last season. But Cade Cunningham, special season from him. He's going to be an All-Star this year, I believe. He's a big reason why the Pistons are 10-2 in their last 12 games and why the Pistons are 7-1 in their last 8 games. Cade Cunningham right now, he's averaging 24.5 points per game, 9.4 assists per game. And last year, how you would play the Pistons is you would just put all your attention, all your focus, all your defense on Cade because nobody else around Cade could play. And this year, things are different. Cade has people he can kick the ball out to. He has shooters. Malik Beasley's averaging 16 points per game. Tobias Harris can knock down threes every now and then. Tim Hardaway Jr., their backup point guard, Saucer. They have a lot of shooters on this team, and they added the right quality veterans. They added guys that could make an impact on this team, the guys that could get going, and that's been huge for this team. Putting the right players around Cade, this is what they should have been done. Cade this season is 2-0 in Madison Square Garden. Just had a big dominant performance against the Knicks on Monday. Dropped 36 points, 4 from 8 from the three-point line. Played good defense on Jalen Brunson when he was guarding him and when he matched up with him. Was backing him down in the paint and kicking it out for 3. Malik Beasley had 22 points. He made some big threes to close out this game, and Cade Cunningham down the stretch was big as well. So just how this Pistons team is playing, they're beating bad basketball teams, and in big games, they're stepping up to the plate. They're beating some big quality teams that are going to be in the playoffs. Right now, they're the 8th seed in the playoffs. And yeah, all the quality veterans they added, they are shooting well from the three-point line. Beasley's averaging 16 a game. They're all shooting like 38%. Beasley's 40% from 3, and he's having probably his best season of his career, or second best. JB Bickerstaff, he's done a great job providing this team with defensive identity. Jalen Duren has been better against a pick and roll. That's something he struggled with last year. And this is an athletic freak. You get him to play better defensively. You put him in position to play better defensively. The defense, everything around him is going to get better. I mean, everybody's going to benefit from that. Isaiah Stewart is probably one of the best bench defenders in the NBA, and this is a guy that's, kind of a hothead, kind of a guy that can be OG crash out, but you need that kind of presence. That helps the Pistons get back to playing Detroit basketball, physical, aggressive, and all that. But he's been great off the bench. Asar Thompson, that's a guy that's, he's just a great basketball player all around. Needs a three-point shot, but once he gets that, this guy's going to be unstoppable. Great defensive player, athletic as hell. Helps push transition, but Cade, him in the starting lineup, I really like that. Jaden Ivey, hopefully he could come back because he was playing at a high level, almost averaging 20 a game, 16 points per game now, but, suffering that fractured leg. They're saying there's a chance he could return later on the season. There's a chance he could miss the season. All the details fully aren't out yet, but hopefully he could come back. I'm really sold on this Pistons team making the playoffs. They're in good position to make the play-in. The teams behind them, they're tanking. Hornets, Wizards, all these other teams that are scratching the surface trying to get in. And the Bulls, I think the Pistons are better than the Bulls. I think right now they're at the 8th spot. I think at the very least they're going to be in the play-in. They're positioning themselves pretty well. Like I said, they just got to continue beating bad teams and continue doing what they're doing. Cade Cunningham's going to continue playing at an All-Star level. I'm sold on that. He's having career-high shooting efficiencies. And he's really showing ESPN, like, this guy, he's an All-Star level player. They had him ranked the 66th best player in the top 100 in the ESPN, top 100 NBA players. This guy's top 20. One of the most underrated players in the NBA. People aren't talking about the Pistons enough. People aren't talking about Cade Cunningham enough, but they should be because this is the hottest team in the NBA right now. There were some rumors about Zach LaVine going to the Pistons last year and the Pistons being really interested in, potentially giving up Jaden Ivey. Now, if the Pistons want to trade for Zach LaVine, it wouldn't cost as much. Zach LaVine really doesn't have too much of a trade market right now. That's a perfect player to add alongside Cade Cunningham. Zach LaVine, he's had 6 straight 30-point performances. He's averaging 24 points per game, shooting 51.5% from the field, 45% from 3. And he's playing at an all-star level himself. And that's the guy that, Malik Beasley, he's having success. But Malik Beasley on steroids would be Zach LaVine. And yeah, that's somebody that could take all the pressure off Cade Cunningham. Having Zach LaVine would be huge. And Zach LaVine would get a lot of open looks. Cade Cunningham would be able to get some open looks himself. Those two would be able to eat off each other. So that's a move that the Pistons should consider making. Maybe Isaiah Stewart, they give up him to the Bulls, or maybe some other young players off their bench. It won't cost that much though. It really won't, because like I said, Zach LaVine doesn't have a trade market right now, so that's the player that the Pistons need to go grab to help them take it a next step further. Some people thought the NFC North was going to be the worst division in football this season. They thought it was going to be as bad as the NFC South.